Greetings to one and all. You are listening to MMJC updates. In today's edition, we will be discussing about a SEBI circular which was issued on 23rd July 2026. Basically, this circular was issued pursuant to an amendment in the LODR regulations. Uh, in the Regulation 40, Sub-Regulation 7 of LODR, earlier said that the procedure for transmission of securities is prescribed in the Schedule 7 of LODR, and then Clause C of Schedule 7 of LODR prescribed this process. So SEBI amended this Sub-Regulation 7 and stated that the process for transmission will be as may be prescribed by the board, that is by the SEBI. So it basically now means that the procedure will be prescribed by SEBI and it will not be the form of LODR regulation, part of LODR regulations. So in this amendment, the Schedule 7 clause which prescribed the procedure was also deleted. So in order to prescribe the procedure, then SEBI issued a separate circular on 23rd July 2026. So what has changed as per this circular? So few important things. First is with respect to the monetary limits of the value of securities. So one additional category has been introduced. If the unit holder, the security holdings of the investor is below 10,000 in case of physical holdings and below 30,000 in case of demat holdings, then your procedure will be very smooth and quickly the shares will be transmitted. Whereas the earlier limits which were there for documentation, which transmission after by submitting documentation, so that limits are also revised. So it is now, as per new circular, the limits are 10 lakh for the physical holding and 30 lakhs for demat holding. Also, the change is in with respect to the documents which have to be filed. So earlier, will was mandatory. Will of the deceased person was mandatory for transmission. So now that requirement of will has been removed. So will, if even if the will is not there, it's fine. The shares can be transmitted. Other than that, certain changes are also been made to death certificate related documentation requirements. So next point comes to process. So what is the process with respect to transmission now? So the person who wishes to get the shares transmitted should submit a request in form in through form. These forms will be applicable available physically as well as in online mode. So once you submit the forms along with all the documents will be verified, and if everything is perfect, then the process will be completed within 21 days of submitting the request. So about why SEBI has brought in this change. So with respect to the limits or the process which was followed earlier, it was the SEBI had received representation stating that there is a disparity. Companies are following processes followed by every companies are different. So there's a disparity, and also documentation related requirements are very time consuming. Hence, the transmission process was not easy. So in order to facilitate the transmission process and make it easy for the investors, these changes have been made. So now with from effective date of the amendment, as I mentioned, this circular had come on 23rd July 2026, and the circular mentions that it will be effective after 30 days from the date of its issuance. So it will be effective from 22nd August 2026. The transmission requests which will be submitted after 23rd August will be processed as per this new procedure prescribed by this circular. So that is all in this edition of MMJC updates. Thank you for listening to us, and please feel free to write to us about your feedback.